Okay, have you seen, let me show you this crystal. Have you seen this chalcedony before? This is a beautiful chalcedony crystal. It's of the, what is it called? It's of the quartz family, but it's such a beautiful one. And it's supposed to really imbue with confidence and joy. It's a really fun crystal. I used to have it in my bathroom, and I got it many years ago. And I moved my crystals around to different rooms. And this is currently in the lounge where my cat was sitting next to. So I'm trying to use it as my, just to put make my phone stable and to see your questions. Yay! Oh, I'm so excited about this one. Elena, how are you, darling? It's good to see you. Also, I haven't got back to your message yet. I haven't even listened to it. It's been quite the month, to be honest with you. Guys, I'm not sure. I'd be interested to hear about what's been going on for you. But I tell you what, I've had in the last 10 years, a major cycle closing in my life, and I had to really tidy up all loose ends, and that happened this week. And the build up to that over the last year has been it's been quite an intense process. But finally, I made a big closure around something. It's on my family sort of aspects of my life, yeah, familial, kind of personal familial. And I've closed a really big cycle in my life that was really, really, I can't tell you how I felt this week. I've just felt like I've elevated. And towards the end of that, it kind of like was getting to the point. I just got sick for a few days, surrendered to it, and then I came out of it. And it was just incredible, that closure. And it felt like it was really marked in the way that it needed to be marked, and the communications I needed to have. So that felt really, really good. But what I can't tell you, it was a huge shift, Elena, for sure. And you know what else also? It felt like the moment I did it, and this is we know this already, right? But the moment I did it, it almost felt like there was a bunch of new openings in my work. I felt like a lot of energy, a lot of creative energy, particularly started happening. I just made space, and I felt like it was so good to honor my boundaries, what felt right, honoring the old cycle, understanding what it facilitated, why it had to come to an end, all those kind of things. And it felt like, and I think it was also closed really beautifully, despite the fact it was uncomfortable. And I can't believe the difference it made. So I'm really pleased. I felt like really excited to be doing a reading today. I don't know if anybody else is coming into closing of cycles, but I really see the difference when we really honor the transition, we really make the closure. You know, what happens once we make the closure, just the energy just flows again. And just to be able to really kind of be in integrity with my own values, my own hearts, and what's going on for me. That felt really, really good. And I'm very excited about the new things that are coming in, because it felt like a really important transition. It wasn't an easy one. Actually, there was a lot of grieving the last month for me. And yeah, and to be honest, it's also been quite exhausting. So I just wanted to share this, and I'm gonna pick up some cards because I have a deck here. I'm gonna tune into the energy, and I'll tell you what the reading is about today. But I have a deck which is called the Sacred Rebels. I don't know if you've known of this. It's an amazing deck. It's the most deep, nuanced oracle deck I've ever worked with. It's very, very, very powerful. And I always read the booklet when I pick a card, because the booklet, I don't do that with any other oracle deck. This particular one I do, because it's so deep, and the message always gives me such important information. And after doing all this closure and all that, you know, look at the card that I got, Beyond Normal. I haven't read the card yet, but it's exactly how I've been feeling ever since. The beyond normal, I've been getting such downloads and feel really such a connection with the divine at the moment. It's ridiculous. Elena says, I don't know if it's closure for me, but it's certainly been a deep introspective couple of days. Yeah, this definitely felt like an introspective time, I think, for quite a few people. The shifts, and I think we have Pluto in Aquarius at the moment, feels like a very interesting twist of things in life. It feels like it's been bringing a flavor that I haven't experienced for many years. Something very kind of like, it's taken me at this like nook and cranny in my psyche that I hadn't accessed for what feels to have been, I don't know, a very long time, if ever. And I feel very grateful for that, but it was also a little bit of it took a bit of courage, you know? Yeah, so it's interesting about your introspection, Elena. I'm curious also to see if with the reading we're going to do today, if that's going to highlight anything more around that. So I'm curious to see what comes up. And just to say that today's reading is not about your question. Hi there, Heidi. You're very welcome to ask a question at the end. Sorry, I'm looking at two different screens on your questions. You're very welcome to ask a question at the end. But the first thing I want to do is tune into your energy. And I want to tune into particularly, you know, this is like a mystery psychic kind of energy reading, which is like something that maybe you're too close to yourself to see it for what it is, or the particular message that is being highlighted for you to know right now. So I want to tune into that. So it might be a surprise to you. It might be something you're already familiar with, but you might like, yeah, you know it, but it's kind of like it's coming up again for a reason, right? It's being highlighted. So I feel like I really wanted to do this mystery one today. And you're very welcome to ask a question at the end, but I don't want to hear from, to start with, from you about the reading. I just want to just dive into your energy. If you give me permission. Ooh, you love it, Heidi. Okay, awesome. I love it that you love it. So yeah, you're going to have a moment to ask a question later, but this one is just all on me. I don't need to have met you. I don't need to, I mean, I've met you both, but I don't need to know anything about you. And I love when I tune into something like this. And just as I'm sharing this with you, I just picked up this image right in front of me. I've got this really beautiful oracle deck, which is all hearts. The messages are on a heart. And there's one that has been staring at me as I've been sharing this with you, which is this image. And I love it because it's almost like there's a hidden aspect, right? There's a mystery on half of that person's face. So this is what we're doing. This is what this reading is about. There's also a message at the back. It says, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Yeah, so this is kind of maybe something that is a little bit too close to ourselves to see it for what it is. But it is within us, right? It's a message that our higher self already knows about. So do I have your permission, Heidi and Elena? Elena says yes. I can start with you, Elena. And then, as I said, you can ask any questions. I'm also going to pick a card for you. I want to pick up one of the Sacred Rebels cards as well, because they are so, so good. I so recommend that deck. Yes, nice. Hi, Vida. Lovely to see you. Yes, so let's just see. Let's start with Elena. Let's just see first with Elena. Okay. What does Elena need to know that is hidden right now, or that would really assist her the most right now? Something that is for her highest good at this moment in time. She might be too close to herself to see it. Just simply, what does she need to know the most right now? Elena, the message is lovely. The visual I'm getting is lovely, and it felt very immediate actually. And also it feels in a very different place to say how I've known you last year. Okay. Not of course that you would be in that space, right? But just saying. immediately I get a flower. I'm being shown a flower that has all the petals open. And we're gonna hone into this, right? This visual feels like up there. It's like really kind of the key image that feels like on the surface. I'm looking at a flower. The flower is open, the petals are open, and it has yellow and green. Yellow being solar plexus, obviously, right? And green being heart chakra. So we're talking about personal will, power, personal power, confidence. We're also talking about heart space, heart essence, and being in connection with your heart space, right? And that energy being an expression. Let's just see a little bit more. Okay, so what I'm being shown is that that flower has opened its petals now, and the flower, it's showing. And the when I'm being shown at the green color and the heart energy and the heart essence, what I'm being shown is that it's almost like the colors are ready to pop, and that the kind of both the scent as well as the essence, because I was talking about the essence of the flower, wants to be now expressed fully. It's ready. The time is here. You're basically in bloom, but it's kind of like it's now letting that blossom really activate, really fully kind of, use its charm and its energy to really kind of express itself in the world. Yeah. Is there something about this flower that Elena needs to know right now? Because this feels like really visible. This is the interesting thing. It's a very visible, the flower is very visible. Yeah, it's showing now the connection to the throat, and it feels like speak the power of your heart, speak the power of your truth, and the beauty of it, and let it share to the world what it needs to, what it's here to share. And I keep on, this is the thing about this energy, I keep on being shown this flower being very much out in the open right now. Right? It's come out in the open, but the thing that the essence of the message is that the flower is out. We want it to now kind of let it be enjoyed, let it be cherished, let it be loved, let it be kind of like the scent and chant, let it be kind of shared in the world. It's almost like there's two things, that there's the flower, that there's the visibility, and that it's there, but it's like now at the stage that you're in, it's not just like you've done the visibility bit, yeah? It's being revealed to the world. That's been shown. Now, the thing that's being hidden, the essence of this energy reading for you, the mystery energy reading for you, is the fact that now that you've done this, the next step for you is to activate the power. And it's almost like from this drawn image of this flower, which is beautiful, let it become so powerfully present and so powerfully kind of evocative and magnetic, and almost like with its beauty really enchanting, that actually like turning the volume up and letting it kind of like almost overwhelm. And here's the interesting thing that I'm sharing this with you. This is spot on. It resonates. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Elena, this is the other synchronicity with the message that we're sharing. Yesterday, I had this new kind of like really good quality, non-chemical scents for my washing, for like doing my clothes, right? So it's really high quality. I got some samples from this company. This sample that I used yesterday to wash some really beautiful blankets and stuff was so powerful that I kept on saying to my son and my lodger, like, oh, can you smell how strong that is? It's like, I don't know how I feel about it because of how strong it is. Like, it feels very strong. Today, when I woke up, because it had taken over, the scent had taken over the house. Today that I woke up, I felt that the scent I was used to it. It felt comfortable. It felt like, it's actually a really nice smell. Yesterday, I couldn't make up my mind because, quite frankly, it didn't have the chemical essence that a lot of the other stuff have, right? B, it was overpowering, like overpowering. And I was like, I didn't know what to do with it. Today, I got used to it. It felt like it kind of landed. It doesn't feel as overwhelming. And I feel like I'm sharing this message with you today because I feel this is what this, it links to this message for you today. So for instance, you might feel like you expressing the essence of you right now can feel a little bit daunting because you feel like, I don't want to overpower people, like that thing overpowered me yesterday, right? But actually, you're going to get used to it. Not only that, it's going to feel very comfortable. I don't know if you've heard the expression, today's ceiling is tomorrow's floor. It's kind of like a similar vibe here, right? So the essence of the flower in one day will feel like, once you start really kind of letting it, giving it permission to express itself and share itself in the world, right? At the beginning, it will feel a little bit awkward. It might feel a bit weird. It might feel a bit uncomfortable, but actually, you're going to get super used to it. And not only that, it's going to be like the new norm, right? So this is the message about this flower. I want to tune in a little bit more to see if there's anything else. Is there anything else Elena needs to know in relation to that expression? Sabotage, anything holding her back around it? I'm getting a message about getting your words wrong. Like there's a little bit of hesitation. I don't want to get my words wrong. I don't want to like over deliver something in a way that it doesn't make sense. Does this resonate at all with you at the moment? And it feels like, don't let that be an issue. It's not about that. It's understanding that however you do it, it doesn't matter. You're going to find your flow, but it really is about you giving the permission. Don't overthink it. Allow yourself to experiment. Allow yourself to just flow with it. Use it and just enjoy the process. The enjoyment aspect is what's going to get you back into the flow and that expression to feel a lot more natural and to feel comfortable. There's a small part of this in there too. Yeah, so the language is fine. Don't worry about the language. It's going to be fine. I don't know why I'm seeing a lemon now. I mean, I was in the garden center earlier and I was asking some the garden center people about information on lemon trees, so that might not have anything to do with you. But why did it come up on Elena's reading? Is it about the acidity of the lemon? Maybe being a bit too strong, a bit too like, you know what I mean? Because I'm seeing a lemon and it's not my lemon tree. Don't worry about your expression having a bit of a kick. Yeah. In fact, just let it be what it needs to be. Yeah. Let it have a pungent smell or a strong scent or something that's going to like, you know, feel initially overwhelming, but it's actually not. It's going to be comfortable. It's yellow and green again, of course. Yeah. It is that, isn't it? Yeah. So is there anything else that Elena needs to know about that expression? It feels like very much this new you being birthed, and but it's kind of like interesting, Elena, because that flower is out, is here. It's like, that's not a hidden thing. And it's very kind of like, you've done that bit. That was a big deal. But now it's really letting it flesh out, really letting it enchant everyone with its scent, with its essence, and, you know, with its extraordinariness, if you like, yeah? That's the bit that you kind of like, you want the permission with. Let it be extraordinary. Let it be kind of like magical, if it makes sense, yeah? Let it be magical. Because it feels like when I first look at the flower, it looks a bit pragmatic. And it feels like, and kind of like, almost like not much feeling to it. And it says like, it's ready, it's out, it's visible. Now let it kind of become multidimensional. Let it express its multidimensionality, the scent, the texture, the magnetic energy that it has, the people getting enchanted by it, and that kind of thing. That's what I'm getting about you, Elena. That's what I'm getting about it. New beginnings feels very fresh, and I think that's what the lemon and the freshness, like I'm seeing the lemon, it feels very fresh, very, very fresh, this energy. Shall we, let me pick up a card for you, right? I'm not going to do the Sacred Rebel because it's such an intense deck. Hi there, Brittany. Thanks, Heidi. Yes, you're next, Heidi. So this is for Elena. Wouldn't it be great if we got a flower? I would love that. Or blossoming or something crazy like this, eh? Sorry, my shuffling sometimes can take a bit of time. This is for Elena, please. Vibrational. And in a way, this is the thing. We've got the yellow here, right? The vibrational card is interesting because what I see in the image of the flower, it's almost like that's what we're talking about, allowing yourself to make that transition, giving yourself permission to really become magnetic and vibrational. The flower needs to have this, like, let it be what it needs to be. Let it be magnificent, vibrational, and kind of multidimensional, as opposed to just show itself in that practical way, you know, because you're anything but, you know, that, you know, you're so much more. Yeah, I hope you like that. And thank you for coming for a read. And stick around if you like to ask a question after I do all the other ladies, if you have a specific question you like to have checked. So ladies, we are doing, thank you so much, Elena, for being here today. Ladies, we're doing a mystery reading. I just tuned into the energy and we're going to go. We've had some interesting, like Pluto in Aquarius stuff going on. It's been a very intense time. I've had a major like ending of cycles of the last 10 years. It's been a very interesting time. I really like to go a little bit in that sort of like maybe a nook and cranny that we don't visit as often. And I think Heidi, you're next. And then Vida. Hi, Leslie. Absolutely. We've got Heidi, Vida, Leslie, and Brittany. Okay. So Heidi, you're still here, lovely, yeah? Okay, cool. Let's tap into Heidi. What is Heidi hiding from herself? What's her higher self hiding from herself? No, your higher self wouldn't hide it from you, but you know what I mean. Heidi, okay. This is interesting. First of all, I see you in all white, and I'm getting again a little bit on the theme of new beginning, not new beginnings, like a transcendence. Your energy shows a transcendental quality. There's a sense that in this next cycle of your life, on this current cycle, next cycle of your life, you're kind of almost like ascending into the next dimension. So if you've been operating from the 4D, 5D, you're moving into the 6D. So there's a sense that we are ascending, but it's not showing it as levels even necessarily. It's kind of like showing a transcendence. Your time has come for that transcendence to happen, you to move into your next dimensional, energetic potential. And it's showing me that with that shift that is happening, you're connecting with new guides, you're getting new information, new downloads, new codes, new energies that are coming to work with you and that are going to really be assisting you in this next level of your ascension. And that transition has been already happening. Have you been aware of it? First of all, does it resonate for you? Because this is where the focus is, that this time right now for you is all about really letting that next transition happen. and really letting it sort of be what it needs to be. And there's some new elements there for you. The last 7 months, great. Okay, so this has been happening the last 7 months. Have you had a sense of the new guides that are coming to work with you? Just going to put this here just so that I can see you without changing. I'm being shown 3 particular guides, and I'm going to ask more information about them if you want. One is galactic, one is, I'm seeing Lemuria, I'm seeing Pleiadian, Lemuria, Pleiades. This is very interesting. You've known, okay. I'm seeing Lemuria, Pleiades, and also, do you have a connection to the spirit realm with a young soul that has transitioned? Because I'm seeing a young soul that has transitioned that is here as a guide, is here to, and it might be that child's energy spirit. I don't know if you've got a connection in the spirit realm with a kid that has transitioned, but there's a very, very youthful energy on the spirit realm that wants to be with you there. But yeah, I'm seeing Lemuria and Pleiades in particular that are going to be working with you. So what does Heidi need to know about working with those guides? What are they going to help her activate and work with? These are okay. Hi, Christina. So I'm being shown that there's a connection to life purpose, particularly around soul purpose, right? Past life, soul connection, life purpose, and activation of their own like divine signature, if you like. So there's a connection to those through those guides that are going to help you with those elements within your client work and in your own being. It's kind of like your starseed energy or your starseed blueprint is really now being more activated, if you like, through the connection of those guides, if it makes sense, that you said you've been connecting with the last 7 months. And they're also helping elevating you on a personal level as well. So that's to assist you in your work, but also in your own personal life. How exciting is that? Can I ask you, because you seem to be quite comfortable with that. I'm not seeing particularly big challenges. So maybe if this message, like you said, it resonates, maybe it's about that confirmation for you. Was there a particular thing around it that you were not sure about, or something about working with those guides or this next level of your awakening that you want to know about? Because they feel really like comfortable in your energy. They feel pretty comfortable on the whole, and you seem pretty like, yeah, really good with them. All things don't work anymore. Is that what you're experiencing right now? Well, it's not going to be surprising if they don't. Some elements probably won't. Yeah. I think this is the thing, what happens. And, here's the interesting thing. This happened to me. Like I was just saying to Elena when I started those readings, this last year has been this big closure for me in my family life. And it was a really, like, I literally this week I closed this door, wrote this beautiful message about it, and really went into it. And the moment I did that, I started to really get downloads. I started to really open up to new information and feeling a lot of creative energy in my work and very specific things, right? Often what tends to happen with these shifts, as you know, is that, that some things that we connect before won't feel the same, because we've outgrown them and because we meant to be working in a slightly different way now. Do you have questions about the way you meant to work? Because these guides are going to help you, but I'm seeing very specific things about soul activation, life purpose, really kind of bringing codes for people that are really meant to assist in this next level of the development and yourself. Now, this process hasn't completed for you, so you're still transitioning with this as well. And that's probably why you feel some of the old stuff are not quite working. Write it out, right? That wave of whatever that process is right now, let it be written out. So let that, whatever the parts of what your work doesn't resonate, it's really because it's not meant to right now. It's not going to hit the same way because you're transitioning out of it, some of the stuff you've been doing. You started working with corporate teams. So interesting. So it could be really that you're helping them with corporate teams. It could be that you're just going to help them maybe bring a little bit more of a multi-dimensional perspective without necessarily talking about that kind of stuff in a big way. You could still imbue in that work some spiritual concepts or elements. You could start talking about some universal law. For instance, I do a lot of universal law in my work, law of attraction, you know, but it's really about understanding the power that individuals have in co-creating their future and the way forward. But to be honest with you, Heidi, I hear you that you work with corporate teams. I see a lot of work being a lot more spiritual with your own private clients as well. I'm seeing a lot more out there work happening, right? More activations and more kind of like hands-on sort of like spiritual work. Do you still do that work or do you not? Do you do any work like that? Because I see you doing stuff with people who are already out of the closet with the spiritual stuff. Yes, you do private ones. And do you do spiritual work? Because I see a lot of that happening. And the guys are going to help you connect a lot more with what your clients need to know. They're going to give you a lot more information and give you more of what they need. Okay, the card of commitment came up, right? And this is what I think this is about. The card of commitment is asking you to really commit to this work that you're stepping into now. There's a sense that what you choose, really fully back it up, because this next level of your work is kind of like getting a little bit different to how you used to do things before. I don't feel the energy when you talk about corporate teams, and it's fine. You know, sometimes we do things that don't resonate as much, but I don't see this being the strongest aspect. Your true soul purpose work is around the work that those guys are helping you with, and it's more a lot more about that spiritual alignment than it is about the corporate stuff. That doesn't feel like your fullest activation. Is that the part of the work that doesn't resonate as much anymore? Because I feel this word of commitment is coming here to ask you to really commit to your next level. Yeah. That's what I'm getting from that, you know, but obviously please take what resonates and leave the rest. Is there anything else you want to ask in relation to this, Heidi, before I go? Because that's what I'm being shown. It's like, you know, it's true. Okay. What is it true that you're not being as sparked off with the corporate work anymore? Because here's the thing, you know, the aspect of commitment is a lot about trust, right? Really trusting and going into that space, asking you to essentially ascend, right? And we talked a lot, the moment I started this live today, I talked a lot about I've had to close doors, you know, which I've been grieving and crying my eyes out the last month. And I finally did this closure message, you know, in conversation, and I felt so important. And then things started really happening. So it's kind of like, it might be that it's asking you to make a deeper decision of commitment within yourself. Please take what resonates, leave the rest, right? You know, some people don't always make that leap, you know, but there's a real sense of like, there's a soul path and there's work, you know, and it's kind of like, the guys are here to help with the soul path. There's the work that is work, pays the bills or whatever. And it's like the commitment card is in the middle. Which way do you want to go? And where do you want to place your trust? My heart is is a lot in spiritual healing. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I mean, I'm having you in this like image as soon as I connected to you, this image with your arms wide open and like being like this elevated and this sacred geometry in gold on top of you, you know, and you being elevated and you have a Pleiadian guide and this Lemurian guide and this like spirit being of a, can we connect with the spirit being of this child? I don't know who that is. Like I get this, the Pleiadian guide, I get the Lemurian. Can we ask a little bit? Because I'm a little bit curious. Who is this child, spirit child? This is interesting. I didn't expect that. Future reincarnation of yours? You have a future life of yours being there as a spirit guide to you now. And it's very interesting. It's fine. It's the spirit version of you for a future life. It's the message I got. And it's very funny also because at the moment I'm doing a lot of quantum jumping where I connect with myself in different dimensional possibilities. And I speak to other versions of myself who have created certain things in other dimensions. So this is an interesting one. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a connection to you. It's like a future version of you, reincarnation of you. So it holds information that are basically essentially a soul energy, right? The soul energy, as you know, it's like soul energy moves throughout the timelines, throughout lives, right? It doesn't matter past life, future, past life, current life, or future. There's one soul, but our reincarnations have obviously also get these different experiences. So he is to give you experiences and knowledge and wisdom you have acquired in a future life. This is very interesting. So you can do some very interesting things with this energy, and it's a boy, by the way. It is a boy. Heidi, you've got an interesting year ahead. And maybe it's about, you know, one of the things, you know, I say to my clients, like really creating that sacred space as you're making that transition to really allow it to solidify this connection you're creating now, and you stepping into that soul purpose work. Let it, you know, it is safe for me. You can repeat in yourself like the mantra, it is safe for me to be in my soul purpose. It is safe for me to choose what my heart wants. It is safe for me to ascend. It is safe for me to transcend, to elevate, to bring my multidimensional work. It is safe for me to evolve. Whatever speaks to you, let it kind of move through like over and over. Let it anchor and let it sort of like feed into your energy and into your trust. Because those are the kind of sometimes difficult transitions, because it's like we need to back them up, right? And as I said, you had that energy of commitment coming, like, are you committing to this transition now? Very exciting, Heidi. I'm very happy for you. You've got an interesting spiritual team to work with as well. And I really wish you well with that. You're very welcome. Okay, this is interesting, very interesting. I did not expect that. And guys, it's very common. This is really common when we're opening up new chapters, we're moving into new energies, and we're leaning towards that way. And all those energies that kind of feel very inevitable. It's going to make sense that some of what we've been used to doesn't quite feel the same, because we are meant to evolve. We are meant to change. Not everything is going to hit the same. You know, how we did things in our work, in our life, in our relationships, like 2 years ago, it's not going to be the same now. And right now, the transition has felt this last month so intense. That Pluto in Aquarius is not messing about, you know, at all. Hi, Jed. Hi, Christina. I'm just going to go to Vida now. Vida, are you still there? Hi, Mary Jane and Leslie. Vida, let me know. I'm just gonna see if she's given her permission and if she's there. I don't know if she's there anymore, but I know that after that, Brittany. Vida and Brittany, can you let me know if you're there? And I will read for you if you let me know. Just say yes, and I will tune in. Okay, Brittany, you're there. Lovely. Okay, lovely. Let's just check in with Brittany. Wow, okay. The energy I'm being shown, Brittany, is very interesting. We've had such different readings here, and I'm seeing you kind of piercing through, like moving in a really fast way, almost like through kind of mining. You've been mining not diagonally, what do you call it? Not horizontally, right? Almost like in the depths. You've been mining with a real kind of piercing intensity. And as you're mining, and I'm kind of seeing from the direction you're taking, it's almost like there's this kind of big tunnel opens up and there's more and more light coming through. And the question that came up for you to really bring sort of your conscious awareness right now is how ready are you to start seeing the light really piercing through? Because there's a sense almost like your mind, it's not mining downwards, right? Because downwards you won't see the light. It's kind of like it's going in this direction and it's going to get out towards the sun. Eventually it's going to like come out. And there's a sense like how fast do you want to get there? How ready are you for it? Because there's a sense that, I don't know, it's interesting that this question pops up, right? Because there's a sense that for me, when I this kind of scenario would normally make me feel like there's divine timing. But for some reason, the question is popping up as to how fast do you want that light to start piercing through? Okay. There's a real sense of intensity with it. And there's a sense that you're very intentional with it and that you're not messing about. You know what you're doing. You're really piercing through it. You're really facing it head on. That's this kind of, it's not normally a question I would ask. That's why I'm intrigued that that's the question that came up. I did not expect the question. It certainly didn't come from me. So I'd love to hear from you. Is this question in any way, shape, or form to you relevant right now? And guys, give me a second. I need to connect my battery here. Okay, I'm going to ask about the light. Hang on. Can you give me a second? I need to get my battery, yeah? Sorry, guys. I normally prepared with those things. Clearly not today. The healing is the word that came up. How fast do you want the healing to be? It's very specific around healing. It's very intentional, and it's very like, and there's a sense that almost like there's a very practical energy around it. It's interesting. how it's showing up. There's a very practical aspect to it. Sorry, let me just. Let me just kind of reconnect with this. How fast do you want your healing to be? Again, that's not a question I normally would ask myself. You know, how fast do you want the healing to be? I don't know why it would come up. Is it about the path you're navigating right now? It's not about that. It's about the deeper aspect. It's the reason why I'm seeing it under the earth, as if it's almost like it's looking to excavate, it's creating like this tunnel, which feels almost like a shamanic kind of like, sort of like the lower world kind of, which is also when I take, I don't know how people do shamanic journeys. Every time spirit takes me to the lower world, it's always, for me or my clients, it will always be around healing. And there's a cave and there's, you know, and it always leads out to like a water lake area and the light coming through and all that kind of stuff. So this feels more of not about the path you're taking, but that deeper aspect going on underneath it, the everything else you're doing. Yeah, and it's asking up about that. Do you have a sense why it might be coming up? I mean, obviously I know a bit about the journey, but particularly the urgency of the question, how long do you want it to be? Do you know whether there might be a connection to that for you? The sort of thing about the timing or the length of the journey, or because it feels like it has a significance, the question, as I'm seeing it, at least, you know, why it's popping up. And then it's almost like you get to a point, you stop, you eat the sandwich and you sort of like take stock, and then you keep on like piercing through, like really quite with a lot of, as I said, intention and intensity almost. Okay, let's ask a little bit more about this. Yeah, why is this question showing up for Brittany? There's a sense that right now you can experience something, and you can give yourself permission to experience a sense of peace that maybe you didn't think it was okay to experience. And that if you give yourself permission, that is there available for you. It's almost like a conversation with the soul. What does your soul want to experience around this now? What is it ready to welcome? What is it ready to, how is it like, does it want to move around this? And maybe it's not meant to make sense straight away, you know, but there's a sense that there's a choice, there's a kind of higher self choice, there's a soul choice here that can be made around your journey. Around your healing, that can be, yeah, a lot more comfortable for you. Let me pick up a card as well, yeah? Because again, as I said, like I don't normally have a thing about personally the speed of something or the journey and all that kind of stuff, but the question of the how fast came up. Let's pick up a card for Brittany. Confidence, the energy of confidence. Do you know what, Brittany, I really would like to pick a card from this Sacred Rebels. It's such a deep deck, the messages here, that I just feel like I'd like to. It's very interesting. Okay, here's the, okay. This feels very relevant. Now I'm getting more of a sense of what's going on. Follow your own rhythm is the message. So could it be there's a pressure from an aspect of yourself to move very fast? Because I keep on getting this question around, I don't know where this question is coming from. How fast do you want it to be? Follow your own rhythm. Because there is a sense of intentionality and intensity, and it's almost like a part of you is like going so fast towards this light to like get there tomorrow. Now this makes a little bit more sense. And it's like, follow your own rhythm. 5 also being the number of change, which is the number I'm getting a lot at the moment. And let me read you the message, yeah? Deep within you, you're moved by an ancient, powerful force that cannot be tamed. It is the rising pulse of the connection to the life force. You feel it in your bones, in your blood, in your heart, and in your belly. When there's something dying within, you sense it falling away, no longer needed. You sense it when it's time to rest and be patiently in transition. You feel the stirring of agitation and restlessness when new life calls you to create. And I keep on, as I said, see you very intentionally, that almost like mining horizontally, like so intensely with this, yeah? And it says that when new life calls you to create, to act, to step forward, and to take a risk, you know that you march to your own beat, that no one else can tell you what your inner rhythms are, and that you must trust in your own timing. You cannot be rushed or forced, nor can you be held back when it's time to burst forth. Life celebrates and supports the natural rise and fall of your inner rhythms. The oracle brings you this special message that you cannot miss what you are destined for, nor will you gain anything by trying to push yourself. Okay, this is a message about pushing then. Because when I was hearing the message of how fast do you want it, do you feel, yeah, I'm moving towards something, away from something too, and I keep getting message personally to not need it to be immediate. So I do think it's related to that. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. This oracle brings you the special message that you cannot miss what you're destined for. You will gain nothing by trying to push yourself. Trust in the life cycle within. You will feel the perfect balance between effort and surrender, discipline and letting go. Your inner being, I'm being shown, is that it's going in at an incredible speed. And maybe the message about this fastness is not about you needing to go faster, but it's more like letting it be kind of like take the time it needs to take, right? You have been pushing. Okay. Yeah, now that makes sense. I was probably not fully interpreting it correctly. When it's time for the rhythm of rest, you will feel a natural slowing within and be drawn into contemplation and environments that are more gentle, spacious, and nourishing, and perhaps more peaceful. When the rhythm of play beats in your heart, you will reach out to others to connect, dance, converse, sing, make music, make love, share your wildness. You'll be drawn to uplifting groups and places where you can experience a positive energetic exchange. Your needs will be met in harmony with your own rhythms. All that you will miss out by trusting this is anxiety. What you will gain is peace. That makes a lot of sense, you know. This oracle has even the stronger message for you that you must surrender your attachment to doing things the way others think that they should be done. So maybe there's a sense of like, maybe, Brittany, do you feel there's been some kind of even unconscious? Sometimes the pressure from other people can feel unconscious to be somewhere we're not quite yet. And it says that, yeah, to not worry about that. Whether that be the hours that you sleep, the way you structure your day, or your creative work, you must honor your need for rest and replenishment, as well as your need for play. Sometimes an afternoon nap or trip to the beach will do far more for you than slogging away when you're mentally depleted and in need of rest. Sometimes you need to work when the energy is flowing, even though others may say it's too much and you must stop. No. So basically, yeah, this deck has a beautiful healing process as well. Say aloud, I now release any unhealthy attachment to the structures, routines, belief systems of others that are preventing me from accessing and honoring my inner sacred rhythms. May I be assisted through unconditional love to know the truth of my own timing, I love myself enough to give myself rest when needed, to trust in my own timing and not feel forced or rushed. I believe in myself enough to make healthy, inspired risks and actions when the timing feels right to me. I trust in my inner rhythms. They are wise and helpful. I'm going to get a screenshot to send this to you. Through unconditional love, so be it. And then it has another process. I'm going to screenshot it and send it. Yeah, you push when you want something. Yeah, I really saw that energy of pushing, you know, very intentional. And that confidence card came out as well. Like, you know what you're doing. And there's a real kind of like energy of persistence with it, you know, but it's kind of like, it's just letting, in a way, that energy was more about letting yourself kind of like let it be a different, a slightly more easeful and less pressurized, you know. And it's interesting because it's like, it's almost like it's kind of a little bit of a hidden, it's a hidden energy. So it might not show to other people, but it's showing, it's kind of like hiding underneath, you know. And there's a reason why that's kind of connected a little bit to the lower world shamanically as well. That's, at least in my work, it feels like definitely connected to healing. And yeah, there's a lot of peace to be found through that. And, you know, let yourself kind of take rests and let yourself, like, you know, mine in a less kind of like, instead of going like this, how about you start maybe like looking at some of the crystals in that sort of terrain that you're at, right? If you're underground, you look at some of the shiny objects, maybe smell the earth, maybe like take some rest, have a nap, maybe you meet a creature. There's something about let it be more, you know. And it's interesting because when the question came up and I said, why would it, like, that didn't make sense to me? And I now realize it's because your intention, girl, is to get this thing done. It's like, you're going to get down that tunnel, you're going to do the thing. And I think that it's been a little bit more hidden to the world, how deeply, like, you know, intense that energy is, you know. Yes, I often have the feeling, how much am I even enjoying my life in the midst of pushing towards what I want? Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you know, you have been through a hell of a lot. So it's kind of like, it's completely understandable. And then again, it's this thing that, you know, it's not necessarily going to get you anywhere faster, because it might be that, you know, there's definitely something in the smelling the roses in the process, even if there's no roses in the process, but whatever, engaging with that, slowing down. It's not even the slowing down, letting it be more of a nuanced process as opposed to like drilling and like mining, you know. It's like very, yeah, kind of very psychically speaking, it's a very labor intensive kind of situation from the looks of it. I feel finding my trust in life again is a huge component right now. Yeah, I lost my trust when Jacob died, of course. And you know, like, you have, it's almost like I'm seeing you as a miner, like mining there, you know. You use a skill and you go and you have something to do and you show up and you've given yourself almost like a purpose as a substitute, you know. But it's like, what if I'm going to send you the healing process. What if you were to like just stop, breathe a bit more, wasted time a bit more, let it be a bit messy, let it sort of be a bit more like uneven, the terrain. I push because I don't trust it to come any other way. So we'll work on that. Yeah. Oh, I'm really glad we got there at the end, because I just couldn't work out why. I never thought that a message would be, how fast do you want to get somewhere? I don't know why, but it was like, I guess no, it's fair enough, isn't it? But now it made more sense. Oh, thank you, Brittany, for coming through. And I hope this, yeah, okay. I'm glad to hear that. Telling you this, like, Pluto in Aquarius has been interesting. I'm not astrologer. I don't know what happens, but I know I've heard from astrologers, it's a big deal. Thank you so much. So is it Leslie next? Okay. Leslie, you're here, yeah? I'm going to read for you, Leslie, if you're ready. And then who else is there also? Danielle, welcome. It's lovely to see you. Anybody else? Leslie, is Vida there or? Leslie, okay. Let's tune into your energy a bit. So I'm getting out of the mining, the lower world shamanic journey to the mining situation, from the mining situation, like a little bit out to Leslie's energy. Oh my gosh, that couldn't have been a more contradictory energy. You are the first visual I see of you, Leslie, is actually sitting by a pond with like in a very peaceful landscape. And it feels like you're sitting on the banks of a, I guess banks are on a river, but it seems like it's a lake rather than a river. And I'm seeing there's a sense of there's the reflection of the water. And there's a sense that there's quite a lot of the water element, like comes a lot in my work, and it feels like in my own life has been a really the most important element ever. It has been coming up in all sorts of magical ways. And it's very interesting because in this case, what I'm being shown is that there's a whole lot of world and experience beneath the lake. And there's an opportunity for you to connect with what's going on underneath in a deeper way that's going to mirror back. It's not just about the mirroring back in the depth within you, but you're going to find treasures and you're going to find things in it that right now would be quite helpful for you. They're going to be really useful, and there's a sense that it's not like you're resisting it. It's not that you're not resisting it. What is the energy? I'm trying to understand, why is Leslie not kind of looking within or connecting? If it's not the looking within, it's like the connecting with what's underneath. Why is she not? What's the deal? What's happening here? You don't want to, you're hesitating, you're resisting. What is that energy? It's not quite any of those things. It's like, are you ready for it? Is this thing like, am I ready for it? What if I do and I don't like what I see or find? There's a sense that if you do that, there's a little bit of a trepidation. I wouldn't say that it's even a major self-sabotage, but there is a bit of a hesitation. And I guess that's what's being called right now, to maybe look a little bit at the hesitation. So I'm kind of curious to what extent this resonates, Leslie, at this moment in your life. There's a sense that there's a deeper depth to be accessed from you that's going to bring a new vibrational level to who you are, an upgrade to who you are. You were sitting on the bank of water a couple of days ago. Well, it's interesting that that's come up, isn't it, on the reading as well? Yeah. Do you feel symbolically my hold a meaning for you? Meditating, you've been meditating? Nice. Yeah. Great. So there's a connection element to it. There's a sense that this can go a little bit deeper if you let it. And it might be that, I guess, it's not your intention right now, but there's a sense that there's a welcoming depth there. that you can engage with the healing. And you say the water is very healing for me. You can engage with the healing energy in a deeper way right now. And it can do good things for you. If you want it. Now, if you don't want it, that's fine. But it's the thing that came up, you know, for a reason. And that, in a way, it's a very different energy to Brittany's, in that Brittany was going all in. You're slightly in the opposite to that. You're sort of like, you're kind of like, sort of very much like, smell the roses here, da 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 da. But there's a sense that this could be sped up. It's not even the speeding up, it's the depth that I'm being shown here. There's an opportunity to go deeper, that you're kind of like not really choosing it right now, but the depth is going to bring a lot more value to your life and really give you that next vibrational upgrade that you could really do with. I feel at a standstill for some reason. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, then let's explore that. That's why being shown the water, kind of in a way, it's almost like, yeah, it's very like chill, the whole thing, you know. You're at a standstill for some reason. Shall we look at the why you're in a standstill? Because I think that's where the juice is, right? Why is Leslie at a standstill? It's a combination of fear with not knowing what to do with the responsibility of what you find, what is going to ask of you to do with, you know. So it's almost like it's chill. There's not much to do, you know. I was just saying, for me, like, I had to like close a massive cycle of the last 10 years, and there was a lot of grieving over the last, you know, this is not your story, by the way, but I'm saying, although you have to grieve something, but like for me, it would have been a lot more comfortable if I didn't have to do it. But this is the thing with vibrational stages. We need to, for you, it's not so much about, it could be about closing doors. I want to dive deeper, because it's almost like you don't really want to go there. Kind of, there's a sense of like, you allowing yourself. Let's put it like this, right? Because you're the sort of deliberate co-creator of your reality. So one way we can work with those energies that we're experiencing is by saying, when you say, I feel at a standstill for some reason, it's by saying, owning it and saying, I allow myself to be at a standstill at the moment. Do you see the difference in that? Because the reason we're in a particular state is because we are allowing that state to be our predominant state. We are the co-creators of it. So there's a sense of like, it's the dual thing of the responsibility. What will I do? What I find, what is it going to ask me to do? And how is it going to ask me to change? But also there's a fear of what you find there. I want to do this thing now where I ask what will actually happen as opposed to what you fear will happen. First of all, I see you holding a scepter. You know, it's like, I don't know, like a staff, right? Which is like an empowerment. Immediately, it's like an emblem of empowerment. So you're holding the staff and you're grounding yourself in the earth. You're really letting the vibration then emanate. And I'm seeing the whole lake vibrating, because you sort of like, you're conjuring and you're saying, I am here. You're letting the world know, but you like anchoring your presence. So there's a sense of like, and this is the thing, I've never done this with everyone.
That flutter feeling.
Sorry, I've never done this with people who, because people are experiencing, sorry guys.
Join Admiral Casino and feel the flutter.
I'm having background music playing, and it's now been playing, it's gone into the ads. I've never done this, Leslie. I've done so many of these things with people, and I've never in one moment, because everybody is experiencing some kind of fear, hesitation. It's never happened that I tuned in to see what actually happens and not seen people loving it or doing well with it. Never once. After they've gone through that initial hesitation and that fear, I've never seen it not working out for people and not being a beautiful thing. And I'm seeing the very same thing here for you. Yeah, so there's a sense that actually you're doing really well with it. You enjoy it, you feel yourself, like you're fleshing yourself out. When I see you by the lake, it almost feels like not real. It's not your real, I'm not seeing you fleshed out. When you hold your staff, I see like empowerment. This is like the fear is around you feeling your empowerment. Sorry, I've lost your comments. I do feel there's a big shift coming, and yes, maybe fear of my responsibility. And if we're going to be in the world, it's almost like there's a sense that, you know, and there's a reason why I show you, I'm seeing you making that ripple. You're going to, like, what is that ripple going to create, and how are people going to respond to that ripple? Does it make sense? That's what I see there with this. How is that going to affect others? How is it going to kind of affect me? And it's just saying, like, there's not, that's the fear there. Okay, let me ask now, what does Leslie need to know in order to start working with that fear in a more effortless way? Shall we tune into that, or the hesitation? How can she assist herself to work with this? Because I could tell you feel the fear and do it anyway, but sometimes I find the energy showing me a little bit of like another little hack, just to kind of like make it as easy as possible. Because the road to least resistance is the best way I find. It makes it's easier to transition into. Bring some fun to it. So bringing more fun would be a lot more of an interesting process. So this empowerment phase doesn't have to be like a scary thing, and it doesn't have to be horrible or difficult or challenging for you. You can let it be fun. So a mantra, I really use those medicine mantras, prosperity mantras, I call them in my alignment work with my clients. So whatever the fear, the hesitation is, I turn it around into a medicine, right? So if the fear is that it could get like, you know, you feel your empowerment, you feel that what that ripple is going to do, how the next stage of your evolution is going to affect others and the world and your responsibility and all that. You can say, it is safe for me to have fun as I grow. It is safe for me to choose growth and fun. It is safe for me to enjoy the process of expansion. It is safe for me to invite joy in my ascension. It is joyful and fun to expand. It's not that it has to be always connected to fear, you know, but it needs to like, it needs you to be on board, if it makes sense. You need to sort of make it a bit more conscious, and you need to like, and I'm also seeing you actually using your voice would be very useful, and doing some throat chakra clearing. So I'm literally seeing you standing on the earth next to the lake, shaking your hands, doing some somatic work, shaking up a bit and going like, ah, just really clearing your throat and just kind of like moving things around a bit, letting that energy move through your body. Yeah. So I'm seeing that. Yeah. And I'm seeing you doing some dancing actually and movement quite a bit, as well as some somatic work that could really help the process. Connecting a little bit more with your wild energy, with your sort of rewilding yourself a little bit more. Because there's a sense that like things are a little bit on, as you said, on that standstill, they need to start moving. So you start moving your own energy and you start having fun with it, right? Throat energy, throat chakra, as well as physical body movement is really what I see for you here. That's the starting point. Anything else Leslie needs to know around this? I'm going to pick a card as well. Yeah, and kind of like I'm seeing that version of you kind of going, I am, I do, I have like really making those statements and you doing your feet like that, like really kind of claiming and becoming, stepping into that version of yourself by claiming it, by embodying it through words, through movement and voice. That's what I see for you, Leslie. Yeah. So in a way, and I remember when I did my coaching training in a way, it's interesting, the card integrity came out. And can you see those two? I love the fractal thing, you know, the fractal images, because can you see, sorry for a minute. Batteries needs to change to my laptop now. Batteries to my laptop now. Can you see these two energies here? Like it's almost like it's about merging with self, with your true self. I love having those readings as a complimentary. This is about you merging, allowing yourself to become your true self, love, because the elements, when you're working with the elements, it's almost like they just reflect us, right? They're here to empower us and they're here to become a mirror. And the water is even more so a mirror. Right now, you're not embodying your true essence. It's like you're not quite, you know, and this is about coming into integrity with your true self, with your inner being, stepping into that version of self, merging those two versions, the one that is like hovering about and not wanting to step into who you are, and of course the version of yourself that is the true you, right? So it's about merging both. There are two sounds playing. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. There's two sounds playing in my laptop right now, you mean? Or in your, I mean, vibrationally speaking, yeah, of course, you know, we have a vibration. Our true self has the actual true vibration of who we are, right? And then the versions of ourselves that I don't know, you say yes, but I don't know which one you mean. Now it's okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, because you know what? I can see the comments on my phone, but my laptop is actually where I'm streaming this from. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, so it's about merging to your true self. That's what the message is about for you. This is what the fear is, that the ripple of the true self is always like a scary one, but actually it's just, you have no idea how much this has come up for people. It's such a thing. That's what we're all here. We're helping each other become more that deeper version of self, right? And it's always elevating. It's always refining. It's never like a fixed thing, basically. So, yeah, no, it's an interesting one. I'm gonna pick one of those cards as well. The heart cards, oracles. Oh, this is nice. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. And there's the little kind of card of, yeah, true self. So, my lovely, thank you so much for coming in. It's been lovely to read for you. Don't be afraid to let your energy come into full bloom and be what it needs to be. You know, don't be afraid to play. That sounds on point. Did it? There's a reason why you had to read that message. I mean, it is acceptance and self-love, isn't it? Really, when it comes down to merging with our true self, it is about accepting ourselves. You're so welcome. I'm glad that resonated for you. I hope you have a lovely, yeah. Keep me posted how that goes. Do you have a support system, Leslie? Do you have a deeper container, or in yourself, in your connections, your friendships, that can sort of in a way hold that space for you, that can really reflect that depth to you? Because sometimes when it's just, you know, these, if we don't have that, that can be a lot more difficult. as well, or easier to kind of not do anything about it. I'm just curious a little bit. Let me know. But also, if anybody else is left that would like a reading, I don't see anybody here. Hi, Angeline. Angeline, if you would like a reading on just on your energy right now, let me know. I will. I do. You do have. Okay, but a lot of time I do it by myself. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Leslie, thank you for coming through. I wish you a beautiful day, yeah? Enjoy yourself. Christina, hello. Lovely to see you, darling. It's been a while. Yes, so shall we tune in to see? So this is a mystery reading in that we don't ask a specific question. We want to see what needs to come up, what comes up. Why am I seeing those white doves flying? I saw two white doves that flew. Is it like, did somebody flew off the nest? Or is it just symbolic? Because there's two white doves that flew. Let's just see, what is the energy of the doves for Christina? But it's almost like they're never really flying away. They're with you. There's a sense of like the doves are there with you. Okay, so the doves represent something. There's a sense that, okay, here's the interesting thing. The doves are meant to fly away. They're meant to just really just flow away, right? And the energy around the doves is that they kind of want to, but they're not quite getting out. Not they're getting out, but they're not, it's almost like there's this invisible field that's not letting them fly further away. And the doves represent something very specific for you. I want to ask what that representation is. Your dreams. It's funny, this came up as well. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. It's funny that this came up. And then I also had this card with the more wings there as well. And trust me, those cards, they're not winged cards. Maybe a few, no, there are some, but not too many. There's a sense of a loss, Christina, in some way. I don't know if that resonates. There's a sense of a loss, and there's a sense of like those doves that represent like something of value to you, that are part of your dreams, that actually want to fly off and fly away and be out in the cosmos and in the world. And this, for some reason, they're being stopped from really kind of flying off. And there's a loss attached to it. And I'm getting the message, okay, this might not resonate at all, but I'm getting the message that it's okay to say, it's okay to let them go now. It's okay to let the doves go. It's okay to let them fly off and allowing yourself to shed the tears. Are kids leaving the home, Christina, or something else that has left that is kind of importance? Because there's a sense of sorrow and sadness. That does any of that resonate with you? What is that loss, my darling? That is coming up here. the connection with the dreams? Does it like, there's a sense of like something is being grieved though, and it might not be totally 100% conscious. It tends to be on the whole, but there's a sense of like this, either a need to grieve something, something is being grieved internally or needs to be grieved or something like that, and be let go of. Do the doves represent anything for you? I don't know why I keep on seeing doves for you. I keep on seeing those doves. And now it's funny also, I got a connection with Glastonbury because I know some doves in Glastonbury in my teacher's old home. I don't know if Glastonbury has a connection. Why is am I seeing the connection to Christina and the doves? Christina, for some reason, the message keeps on being about dreams. Is there a sense that there were dreams that you've had that were not being that have not been fulfilled? That there's a part of you that okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, your uncle's funeral had doves at the crematorium. Yeah, there's a sense of a loss and doves. Okay, I get you. Now, here's the interesting thing, because the connection with the doves and the dreams keeps on coming up. And I know that, okay, this is your uncle, but the message is connecting to you, and that feels very clear. Dreams and fulfilled, yes. Okay, cool. Right. Because I feel like I was getting a couple of things here. There was the loss thing, there's the dream. I mean, loss and dreams unfulfilled is the same. Okay. But also like there's a sense that somebody could have, yeah. Okay, this multitasking energetically, I'm trying to read quite a lot of different, not different, but energy evolving. So here's the thing. The first thing is that there's a composting process going on here. There's something that does need to be grieved, right? Not just in connection to your uncle, in relation to the dreams you used to have and the particular configuration those dreams were showing up as. But they are not lost. They are composted. They are recycled. There's a sense of like, right now you're being invited to revision something that really connects to who you are at this moment in time. And that oh God, that it's okay for you to do that. That it's okay for you to the reason I'm kind of being like this is because there's a sense of like, it's almost like your heart is not sure that it wants to dream again. And I feel a little bit kind of like, with that, you know, feels a little bit sad. It's almost like a little bit resuscitation of like, it's okay to grieve something of the past. Something from the past needs to be grieved that hasn't quite fulfilled for you, right? Whatever that might be for you. But it is not lost. It's just been recycled and composted. The grieving, and gosh, this is such a theme right now, because this is like, it's how I started those readings, really, talking about the end of cycles. This thing that you feel was lost is about to be reborn in a very new, in a completely new way. But you need to allow the process of composting. And I feel you a little bit like, it's almost like that resuscitation that needs to happen is around kind of like the grieving will help, right? Because in a way you will have let that thing go a bit, you will have gone through that process, but it's almost like you create that space, just like I created this space over this last month that I've been grieving. And I keep on seeing lovely through your, this is very poetic, the tears are turning into seeds into the earth. But you need the tears because they hold the seeds. And we don't realize that sometimes how important they are. Something that hasn't been grieved here that needs to, that has been kept. And it doesn't even feel like necessarily it has to be like a wailing kind of crying, you know, or anything like that, but an acknowledgement for something. It needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to come out. And I see that turning into the seeds into the ground is getting composted. The dreams that you didn't have are not done. They just didn't materialize in that exact way. But who you are right now, you have an opportunity to plant. They're already in there. The thing is, it just needs like watering, if anything, right? And the watering will happen through the tears of what you grieve. Because it's exactly, if you go to the beginning of this video, when I was talking to Elena, you see exactly what I was saying. I was crying over the last 3 weeks, grieving something that felt really painful from the last 10 years of my life, in my family life. And it feels like the moment those tears happen and I realize what the next thing is. And I just wrote this closure. I've just had this closure communication that just immediately just opened things up for me in a big way. And it started the creativity, the downloads, the inspiration, the new elements really came through with precision, with exact precision. So, and there's something kind of very similar, you know, and it's funny because this card came out. Can you see? That's you with the blue face here, the blue face of sadness, grieving that old version of self, the younger version of self. She had some dreams that didn't quite materialize. And even as I do that, I was seeing that image like fading out and in a bit, you know. But can you see the energy here? Can you see the energy of the new seeds and everything that's coming out? This is being washed away, cleansed, and this is like the new seeds. Do you want to hear the message of this? Trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. It's exactly what we're talking about here, right? That's the image I'm getting about this transformation. And it's interesting because the card right below this is this, which is like you looking into the new dream, the new version, right? But that grieving needs to happen because that new energy is here. It's already been planted. It just needs the water from your tears. There's a reason why fairy tales are so important, you know, because the language of the soul and spirit is very much like the language of the soul, right? And it's like it speaks to us through metaphor and through images for a particular reason. That's why I love reading psychic energy, because it really it gives us all we need to know. Do you know what the dream is that you're grieving, or the particular thing that you're grieving? Do you feel like, as we're talking about, do you feel like, yes, like I know what they would be, or does it feel more generic at this stage, or do you feel like, yeah, I know what that is? Because it feels like, even if it is a few things that just need to be acknowledged. It makes sense? Cool. Yeah, and you know, we really feel that because we didn't fulfill some dreams, that's the end of it, but it doesn't work like this. You know, it's like we're constantly renewing and reinventing ourselves every single day. And it really is about having the courage and the trust to tap into the energy of the moment, recycle and compost the past. Yeah, nothing lasts forever, or sometimes things don't materialize, but it's not necessarily lost. It's composted if the work is done, if we are sitting with all this. Yeah, probably yes. I see a few things, and I see at least 3 or 4 things that are kind of coming up on a few different areas, you know. Yeah, let yourself wipe the tears. And I think the symbology of the dove is like, in a way, it's partly the innocence and the love of those dreams. They represent those dreams, those doves. And in a way, there's a sense of you not kind of like, they're just about, they hit this invisible field. And it's like, they're not kind of quite merging out, you know. And it's asking you to let them, but it's through the acceptance and the grieving, acknowledging, maybe doing some journaling, you know. That's the thing that comes up for you, and as the prominent thing here. And I see the version of that evolving, right? And the composting happening, and I see the new flower popping and the sprouting, and all of that feels like pretty, yeah, it's gonna need your tender love and care and your attention to grow. And yeah, lots of gentleness and tender love I keep on seeing. Yes. So Christina, is there another message that you would like to ask? Any questions? This is the message that came up. Does it resonate? Please take what resonates, leave the rest. It sounds from what you said, there's a resonance. And you know, sometimes people might kind of like, it might not always feel like, here's the thing, when they enter, I always find it very interesting when the energy shows very specific things, because you might even say like, you know what, it's not my predominant thing. But actually, it might be that it's not the predominant thing because we not really wanted to give it too much attention. But actually, energetically, it really is what the thing that needs to be taken care of for whatever that next unfoldment is in our lives, right? So it might be that your life is plodding along fine, just as it is. But it's interesting that that energy is coming up. There's a sense of like, there's more space for new growth when something is being released. So it doesn't have to feel always a sense of urgency for something to be dealt with. The energy might show that actually, you know what, it's almost like, let me bring an analogy from the garden, because right now it gives all the material really. I have two lemon trees. One I got last year, one I got this year. I got the one this year because the one last year didn't quite work. By work, I mean, give me lemons. And he said, after a year, you will get lemons. And I was taking care of it. And I only found out today, believe it or not, and the lemon thing analogy came to another lady today. I only found out today that actually, and I was saying to the people, oh, I've been watering, taking care of, why did it not work? Like, why did it not, like, you know, it didn't die, but it didn't live well either, and definitely didn't do lemons. So it wasn't really, you know, thriving. And he said, well, if you're feeding it the food, because they need their own food once a month, which I do, it gets the sunshine, you bring it out in the winter, which I do, but you know, it needs to be put into a citrus soil. And I was like, what do you mean? So, well, it needs to have the fertile soil that is the right soil for the lemon tree. And I was like, I didn't know that. I just put like normal like soil. But every spring I do repot my plants because they need that fresh growth. But I didn't know that some fruit or plants or whatever need their own soil. I was like so shocked by that. And now I know why, right? Because it didn't have the right soil. In your case, it's the thing that your soil needs watering. And it needs a little bit of the tears of what didn't work to kind of like, to moisten it, you know? It needs some cultivation, if you like. So it's there's always some kind of element. And in your case, that's what it was. But it doesn't have to be that it feels massively urgent, but it's the thing that pops up for you right now. That's the mystery reading for you, my darling. That there's opportunity for a lot more growth in your life. It's kind of like, and you're not sort of like, and the annoying thing is you've got really good soil, you know, really good soil, but it needs a little bit more of that. It needs to be fed. That's all. Any other questions, Christina? Would that be all aspects of your life? Let me see. Personal, professional, vocation. Let's put it vocational, right? Because not everybody connects with the word professional. Not so much the maternal, not parental, not the parental, but I'm seeing it particularly in two areas: vocationally, purpose-wise, and romantically. Yeah. Does it resonate? Those are the two things. You're welcome. If you have any more questions, if you have a question, do you want to tune into something else for you at the moment? That's what you were thinking? Those two things as well? Yeah? Yeah, those are the two things I'm being shown. Yeah. And it's almost like, in a way, give yourself permission to see more growth, sprouting, green. It feels a little bit, the leaves are a bit yellow. It feels a little bit like, you know what I mean? Kind of like not growing, not dying, stagnant, you know, and sort of like, which is like how my lemon trees are the most. Well, actually, I've got new sprouting. Spiritually, you know what it is? No, I don't get spiritually so much. I feel that your spirituality is rich. It's just not being fully, hasn't been fully utilized, because in a way those two moving pieces have not felt important for you to move. But your spirituality will become a lot more alive. It feels there's a richness there, but it's almost like those two pieces, because they have, in a way, spirituality. What is spirituality? It's like, it can feel a little bit too much of a concept unless we're sort of applying it to something. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's not really quite as alive, is it? So it's almost like your spirituality becomes a lot more alive when those human elements will feel a lot more important. If it makes sense. There has to be some raw material, raw elements from your life to want to grapple with. And those kind of things feel a little bit like, yeah. So in a way, you're not giving an opportunity for your spirituality to almost like really ground in a much more powerful and kind of way for you, if it makes sense. And please take what resonates, by the way. You're saying spiritually what you want? Yeah. Is that what you were asking when you said spiritually? If that was affecting you spiritually? I mean, in a way, when our life is, when we're thriving spiritually, it's almost like, I don't know, it's kind of like, I know some people can see it as an entirely separate thing, but I don't kind of tend to see it like that. It just feels like it needs something to grapple with a little bit more in your personal life, you know? Yes. I need to do that towards myself, yes. And is there any question in relation to this that you want to know? Because it feels like a little bit of a journey. You think the vocation relationship areas are the main point? Yeah. It feels like it's almost like an invitation for a journey there with you. It's not like necessarily with the previous lady, Leslie, was going to start doing a little bit more of that. Yes, it's a bit of a process for her as well if she wants to, but it's like There's an invitation for you to go deeper into a journey there. So Christina, hope this helps, you know, let me know, keep me posted. Let me also pick up one of those cards for you. Starting to get a bit thirsty. I need to get some water actually. Card for Christina, please. Oh wow, it's 11 already. Crazy. Didn't realize. Ooh. Knowledge. Ooh. Sorry. Can't. Knowledge, this feels like, yeah, connecting with your deeper knowledge, really letting that come through, you know, and letting that sort of elevate, letting it sort of like, yeah, come through and trusting it, you know, trusting yourself. You're very welcome. It's really nice to see you, actually. It's been so many years as well. Are your kids well? Well, don't worry, I'll message you, actually. You might want to go into more. And I think that's it. Is anybody else? Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Have a lovely, enjoy the rest of your weekend, Christina. Nice to see you. I don't think there's anybody else, is there? If there is anybody else who wants to come for a last reading, come on board. And ask, but I think that's the last person. It's you here. So it's been so nice doing that. Thank you, everyone, for joining in for the readings, for your mystery reading. I love doing mystery readings as opposed to having, sometimes I love having a theme as well. But it's been a real pleasure doing those readings. It does feel like there's been a lot of energy being processed on a deep level from the collective and on a personal level, definitely for me. It feels like a time of like a little bit of a time of purge, hopefully you know, maybe more introspection like it was for Elena, for some other people as well. But definitely newer energy emerging right now. And kind of, you know, really the theme of letting go, kind of transitioning from the old and really closing those doors feels important, really acknowledging the new that we want to tap into feels really important, really kind of making that leap. I think one of the most important things that I keep on saying to the people I work with, and that I remember my teacher used to say to me a lot, was like that leaning into that new energies is so important. There's one thing intellectualizing it, but another thing choosing to lean into it. That's where the shift is. You know, we need to lean to it. We don't want to just approach, yeah, I want the new, I want the, but then there's the leaning. We need to let our own vibration, our actions, our inspired action, our own energy to get into alignment, to keep on revisioning and to keep on choosing the new, you know, whatever that is for you. And sometimes if we don't know what that is, we know what we don't want, and we know that from the lessons we have learned or the experiences we've had, we know we have grown to know ourselves enough to be choosing something different. And don't be scared to really start to carving the details of what you think that might be for you. That's what it is about. It's about having fun in that process of co-creation, you know. And I really wish you well with that. It's been a real pleasure, and hopefully we'll speak again very soon, yeah? Okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Bye.